Good morning, everyone. You can stay laying on your backs. If you're practicing at home, today's class will be a flow class with some restorative postures at the end. You might not have all of the yoga props that we have in studio, but if you need to, grab some pillows, some blankets, or you can use even some furniture around your house if needed. So you are welcome to acquire those things. I'll give you a moment. When you're ready, we'll meet back on your mat. Just taking a moment to honor yourself in this space and time. Assessing how you feel this morning. Assessing how your week, even though it's just begun, has gone so far. Giving yourself time for reflection. Often we're so busy doing that we forget to look at where we are and how we feel about where we are. Let it all sink in. Allow your experience to dissolve away, coming more into this moment by feeling and moving with your breath. Notice the sensation as you breathe in towards your belly, and experience what it's like to release the exhale through the nose. You're welcome to subtly explore places that you can send your breath. If there's something within your body that grabs immediate attention, notice what happens as you breathe into that space. Maybe it's something not just physical, but mental or emotional. What happens as you send a breath? A sign of support to yourself. Take a moment or two longer here to breathe and explore within. When you're ready, start to deepen the inhalation, this natural uplifting feeling of an inhale, starting to create a little bit of energization from within. And as you breathe a little deeper, maybe you can start to breathe into the fingertips, into the toes, and invite small movements into the body. Maybe wiggling fingers, shifting head from side to side, with the intention of following your movements maybe into a stretch, and eventually to one side. Use hands to help you rise into a seated position. Wonderful. Allow the presence of the earth to be felt underneath your seat, and a little lift and length through the spine. You're welcome to close the eyes or just soften the gaze downward. Hands can stay as is or meet at heart center. A moment to join voices and honor our practice here together. Let's inhale to Om. Om. hands meet back down to the lap, to the knees, and we'll start to create some hip circles with the pelvis and the spine. Inhale to send the heart over to the right, shine it across to the left, and then exhale, curl the spine, the chin towards the chest, creating giant circles through the pelvis. Notice how the spine corresponds, kind of like a wiggly snake. Take your time here to move with your own pace, allowing the breath to dictate that pace. Being able to practice a little bit of flow before a restorative is very illuminating. You can start to feel into what's present in your body and use our movement practice to respond. And then our restorative practice allows for that response or that intuitive movement to settle in, to integrate into the body. Take one last circle, really enjoying each little movement and how your body receives it. Eventually meet with your spine in a neutral position, and then we'll inhale to the left and across to the right, creating the same movement just in the different direction, which might bring up different sensations and different experience. Take two last circles in this direction without rushing. It can be as simple, as slow as you like. Eventually let your spine find a neutral still point, and we'll bring knees to the sides. Make your way into tabletop position. Finger pads spread wide underneath, directly underneath the shoulders, pelvis, underneath hips. Press the earth away to feel a little bit of activation through the spine. Inhale, the tailbone begins to point upwards, the heart shines through, and the gaze can lift. And then exhale, curl the spine upwards and allow the heart to shine towards the ceiling. Inhale, again the heart lifts, maybe shoulder blades move towards one another. And exhale, begin to tuck the tailbone and feel the back of the heart rise. Continue with your own pace of breath. You're welcome to move as slowly or as quickly as your breath dictates. And again, become curious about sensations within. Where are you feeling this posture? Where do you experience a little sensation of stretch or openness? And where do you feel a little bit of strength moving into the body? Where is the body supporting itself? One last round of cat-cow. Come back to your neutral spine, and we'll start to create a little bit of a circling response within our tabletop position. On an inhale, we'll send the rib cage out to the left, across over to the right, and then as you exhale, curl the spine and circle back through the hips, like you're creating a giant circle with the heart or the rib cage touching one point of the circle at a time. So one point to the side, the heart can move to the front, and then to the opposite, and then back. Take your time. You're always welcome to pause in movement and breathe into sensation. Allow the head and neck to flow naturally from your movement. Eventually come back to your neutral center and reverse the direction. Send the rib cage over to the right to begin, to the front, the left, and curl the spine back. Spine will come back to middle. Hands can walk forward, toes tuck under, and send the pelvis up into downward facing dog. Enjoy receiving the shape of this posture by finding movement, exploration. Pedal the heels, wiggle the hips. And begin to notice how your breath is moving as we become a little bit more active. Are you able to create a longer and more present inhale and exhale in equal length? And you're welcome to utilize the Ujjayi ocean-sounding breath to help concentrate the mind and warm the breath within. Lovely. Inhale, look between the hands. We'll walk forward, halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the sides, rise up. Hands might join overhead, and exhale, arms down to the sides. Good. Inhale, hands sweep out and up, open through the shoulders, and exhale, allow the heart to flow down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, drape the body across the legs, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, arms down to the sides. Good. Inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to find a little brightness within the spine. And then exhale, land the hands. Step back through high plank. You're welcome to come onto the knees. Inhale and exhale, lower down. In-breath to lift the heart, the gaze upwards. And exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Take a moment as you arrive back in downward dog just to notice the immediate difference of the body the second time it receives this shape after some movement. Inhale, rise through the right heel. As you exhale, look ahead, step the foot between the hands and pivot so that your back foot is parallel to the short edge. Inhale, wave the body up. Come into warrior two. Deep bend in the front knee. Knee is tracking to pinky toe. And arms are reaching away opposites. So you feel a little bit of activation through the chest, through the back body. Crown can grow a little bit longer and gaze is welcomed over the front fingertips or straight ahead to the window. Let the breath become steady. Inhale here. Exhale, right elbow down to the right knee. Sweep left fingertips overhead. Shine the heart up towards the ceiling and continuously connect with the back left foot all the way through to the left fingertips. The breath is growing through the side body. Press through the feet. Inhale, rise back up, warrior two. Exhale, hands to the pelvis. Feet will turn to the front or the long edge of your mat. Inhale, lift through the crown. And as you exhale, slowly come down, wide-legged forward fold. Hands can eventually release to the earth or the support of a block. Let the crown become heavier towards the pull of gravity. And notice a little bit of presence within your feet as you push into your feet. A little bit of stretch, of tensioning through the tissues on the backs of the legs. And then wait, tractioning one vertebra at a time. Breathe into the experience and into this shape. Inhale, come partway up, hands are still connected to the earth, and we'll land the right hand in the middle, right underneath the face. And inhale, sweep left fingertips up, gaze can follow the fingertips towards the ceiling. Pause here and breathe. almost like your breath, every inhale can encourage a little bit of openness through the chest, space within the rib cage. Inhale, reach. Exhale, left hand takes the place of the right. And inhale, sweep right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Pause and breathe. Again, using your breath to experience sensation in this moment. One more deep inhale. Exhale. Let's take both hands to the mat and melt the crown just for a couple of rounds of breath. Feeling the upper body respond to the pull of gravity. Root through the feet. Subtle bend in the knees as you inhale, come up part way. And then exhale, slowly allow the body to come back into standing. Wonderful. Left toes will point to the back edge of your mat, and right foot will remain parallel to the short edge. Inhale, arms begin to open and reach back in front, and a deep bend into the left knee. Warrior two on the opposite side. Shoulders grow, slide down the back as the heart opens a little bit more. Notice the breath. Wonderful. Inhale. Exhale, left elbow to left knee. Sweep the right fingertips overhead. Again, spin so that the heart begins to shine a little more towards the ceiling. Breathe into the side body, maybe all the way down towards the waist, towards the pelvis. Press through the feet. Inhale, rise up through warrior two, and then we'll exhale as our hands come towards one another. We'll take a giant step to the back edge of your mat. Good. Inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers. Root through both feet. Begin to bend towards the window wall, towards the left, or towards your right. Keep rooting through the left foot. Inhale deeply into the side body. Good. Exhale through center. Inhale, find a little more length through the spine. And exhale to the left. Again, breath is moving through the side body. One more inhale. Exhale through to center. We'll allow the arms to come down to the sides and turn to face forward. Lovely. You can still stay at the back edge of your mat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and begin to slowly walk yourself out into a downward facing dog. This allows you to determine the size of the dog or the length that you want to take with your stance. Maybe you're experimenting with a bit of a shorter length. Sighing breath here together. Inhale. Lovely. On an in-breath, that will come up onto our tiptoes and slowly roll the body over top of the hands, and exhale, lower the knees to the mat. Walk hands back towards the knees to come into kneeling. Lovely. We'll move into some more restoration now that our body, our tissues are a bit more balanced and more receptive to restorative yoga. Our first posture, I call it starfish. You'll need just a bolster and possibly your short chip foam block. So at home, if you have a rolled up blanket or a bolster, that's great, and a little pillow. I align this bolster so that it's going to meet the creases of my hips on my pelvis. And I walk myself over, drape the pelvis onto this bolster, and widen my stance to mat width apart or wider, and then allow the upper body to come down. Either my forehead can rest into the earth, or you can take a cheek to the mat. If the earth is a little too far away, that's where a chip foam block might be useful to catch your forehead. So take time to set up. You want your restorative practice to feel easeful, where there's no pinching, no places of tension within the body. In restorative yoga, we take these shapes so that our nervous system has a chance to calm and move into more of the parasympathetic response, that rest and digest. Especially a posture where the whole front seam of our body, where we feel maybe a bit more vulnerability, when it makes connection to the support of props or to the earth, it very much promotes that feeling of well-being. Practice for a few moments this deeper listening within. Notice maybe the breath moving within the body. Notice where the breath is available and where it can flow. And begin to emphasize the exhalation, just like we emphasize the inhalation to reawake the body by creating a longer, more conscious exhalation. We can move deeper into restoration. Exhale by exhale, let the body release and soften into the support below. Rest here in quietude, and I'll let you know when it's time to change shapes. Bring your mind back into the space of your body. Feeling how the breath is moving. Again, we'll start to lengthen the inhalation. Maybe notice how the inhalation can fill the back of your body. A sense of expansion through the spine, the pelvis and rib cage. And when you feel ready, so slowly guide hands to support underneath the shoulders and push up into hands and knees. You can take some time here to wiggle the hips from side to side just to release tension from the back, or take any movements that your body is calling for. When you're ready, we'll set up for a supported child's pose. So some of you might like to have one bolster in front of their torso, or maybe two, to just raise the floor up a little bit more. So you can determine how many bolsters you like. To be honest, I like 4, but that's not gonna happen here today. And again, if you're practicing at home, having a nice dense blanket rolled up can work here. A wide leg variation is the best form here. And I shift my bolster a little bit ahead so that the contents of my belly are a little more free. Once I move my body forward, you can then drape the chest, either taking the head to the side, maybe having the chip foam block to support the forehead so you can breathe on the bolster. Notice what is most restful for your neck and shoulders. If you have 2 bolsters and you find your seat is a little high up off of your heels, you can also have 1 bolster in the front and 1 bolster to catch your seat. Take any last wiggles and shifts that help you find a place of ease. And if something is not right, give me a little wave. I'm more than happy to help you find a more comfortable position. This posture to me in my own body and mind evokes this feeling of being a really young baby. You know, when our parents would hold us in our arms, laying our belly supported by their arm. And we see that in such a young being, this ability to completely surrender, to let go and be held. Feel as if you can receive all the supports from the props below you. Moving back to that place of surrender, of innocence, and well-being. Again, we'll rest here for a few moments. I'll let you know when it's time to shift. If your head is turned to one side, you might consider shifting the cheek to the opposite side to bring balance to the neck. Through the next few moments, allow the breath to deepen, signaling very subtly to the body that we're about to shift, and giving you a few last moments of enjoyment. No need to rush. When you're ready, again, find support with hands underneath the shoulders, and so slowly walk the hands back towards your body to come back through kneeling. We move slow to kind of maintain this feeling within our nervous system of rest. Our next posture is a little bit more heart opening. And it really depends on the size of your body and ability to backbend which props we'll use. I recommend 2 bolsters and possibly the chip foam block, or a chip foam block and our gray block. So something to catch your head. So it really depends. I'm not super bendy in my upper back, so often I need something higher. The other bolster I would position underneath my knees. So I'm just creating some support there. I line this bolster up with my shoulder blades. I don't want it in my low back, and I don't want it too high on my upper back. So I find that space where my shoulder blades meet, and then I can allow the head to tip back to either the support of a gray block or a chip foam block, or the earth if that is available in your body. Again, a bolster underneath the knees just helps release a little bit of that pressure through the low back. And you're welcome to either have arms out to the sides for a bit more of a stretch and openness through the heart, or they can rest on the chest or belly. You're welcome to use a sweater or anything you have available to cover the eyes if you would like. Yeah, try that. Is it too far back? That's okay. Hi. So this one goes more underneath your shoulder blades. Scooch that up. Yeah, that's a little bit better. You might need a second block for your head, and then see if that meets that, okay? Good. Take time to shift and wiggle. Find a place that works for you. And if, again, you're having any troubles becoming comfortable, let me know and I'll do my best to help you out. As the eyes close or soften, take a moment to trace the outline of your body with your mind, starting at the soles of the feet, and just noticing the gentle bend in the knees, a subtle flexion within the pelvis and the hips, and the support behind your heart, allowing your shoulders to roll back and open. Let the breath move just a little more freely through the space of the heart. Feel the diaphragm, how it can expand even more through this subtle back bend. When you're satisfied with your exploration, gently let awareness drop a little deeper into the body. Find a place of rest. And I'll call you back in a little while. Invite a deepened breath through the front seam of your body, feeling the front seam expand and receive the inhalation and the exhale, feeling more support beneath the heart. Take 3 long breaths just like that. When you feel complete and ready to shift, be so gentle to your body. You're welcome to use small movements at first, but eventually shift to one side to use your hands to help you rise into a seated position. Wonderful. Once you're upright, we'll move into our last 2 restorative postures. And if you find this next posture your jam, or it's like where you want to stay, you're welcome to stay. But there'll be one more posture after that if you wanted to continue to explore. This one is a Shavasana type position. If this was the bottom edge of my mat, I would set my block at its middle height, and then the bolster to make a T shape on top of that block. I kind of then squish the bolster around. So at home, you can use a book and a cushion to kind of create this shape. From here, I walk my body pretty close so that I can catch my knees onto the edge of this bolster. Then I lie back onto my spine and let my knees kind of roll away from one another. This is such a lovely passive hip opening stretch, and it feels so good to have the spine meet the earth after that little bit of a back bend. So you can try this out for your body. It's kind of like you're creating this little mushroom of support underneath your knees. Yeah. It differs than just having a straight bolster because it allows our knees to naturally roll out to the sides. And you can play with the height of the block if you're finding your bolster is just not manageable. Feel the weight and density of your body meeting the earth. Maybe trace with your mind sacrum through the spine into the crown. And allow the breath to slowly melt towards the belly and the bowl of your pelvis. Every inhale inviting a subtle openness within the hip flexors, the belly. Every out breath helping you sink into relaxation. You'll stay here for a few moments, or when it's time to shift, if this posture feels right for you, you're more than welcome to continue in it. You are so welcome to continue to rest in this posture, or you can begin to prepare your body to shift into our final resting posture by gently increasing the length of the inhale, giving your body time to feel the last few moments in this shape. When ready again, you can start by shifting and wiggling and slowly rolling to one side to utilize your hands to help you return upright. Wonderful. So our last posture will be a 30-degree angle pose, and I will explain a little bit of both how to set up for your support for your back, but also support for the legs, because sometimes we forget about the legs and then we create tension in our knees. So the first thing I like to do is create a bit of a circle with our strap, so you can thread it and we can always adjust the depth of that circle. And then once your circle is created, you'll create support for your bolster by placing a block on its highest height and a block on its medium height. And then you place the bolster on top of those two blocks and take a moment to make sure you have a solid connection there. And here for the legs, I like to have the bolster and the support of a strap. I think having both just creates even more support for the lower half of your body. So once you're ready, just position your seat so that it's right against the bolster, but don't quite lie back yet. We'll shift our second bolster underneath the knees. I just don't have one, so you have to pretend I have one. Lovely. Once that bolster is shifted under the knees, soles of the feet can meet, and then we drape the support of the strap over top of those knees and let the knees relax. Usually the combination of support underneath and the support from the strap creates quite a bit of security and foundation within the legs. And you can play with, if you want, a little bit of a wider support or a narrower support. And then you'll slowly lay back onto your bolster ramp. Arms can either move out to the sides or rest onto the belly or hips. Again, if you're finding difficulties here, give me a wave and I'm happy to help you out. Okay, so I'll take this off and then put the soles of your feet together. And so kind of like butterfly pose. Yeah, and bring your knees up. And then let them kind of fall to the sides. Yeah, does that feel okay? Again, take last wiggles and shifts for finding that perfect place of ease and connection. And physically in this moment, note the ways that you feel supported. Notice the length of the bolster or the earth along your spine. The support underneath the knees. and let go just a little more, giving your weight to the support below you. And here in this moment, a place to recognize the ways that you're energetically supported. This space, this container of a yoga class, helping you connect back to yourself, and you participating, helping others connect to themselves. Rest here, and I'll call you back when it's time. Continue to find rest if your day and morning allows. Be so kind to yourself in your emergence from Shavasana. Letting at first the breath grow within, like a gentle stirring and awakening. Let the breath expand not only through the heart center, but through into the fingertips, into the toes. And invite back small movements. And listen deeply to how your body wants to move. Maybe that's creating a lengthened stretch throughout. Eventually, we'll shift to one side and use hands to rise back to a seated position. Lovely. Take a moment here upright to regroup through the sit bones. Let the crown grow long. You're welcome to allow the eyes to close one last time or just soften the gaze downward. Hands can rest either on the lap or hands can move into Namaskar Mudra at the heart. Just feeling a moment of integration of the restorative postures, and maybe setting the intention to bring that feeling of support and ease into the rest of your day. We'll take one single Om to end together. Inhale. Lovely. Thank you so much for your care and attention this morning. Namaste.